I know that we're celebrating those who really are making a difference, and it's an honor for us to be here. I'll just mention to you, I get a lot of letters. You may probably understand that, a lot of letters. Most of them are signed, not all of them, some anonymously, but I get a lot of letters. But the ones I really enjoy the most come from our young people, who sometimes are very more insightful. They're certainly very honest in their observations of the world. And I'll just mention one that a third grade little girl named Lucille sent me a little letter, and she talked about her love for animals in the zoo. And she asked me if, in fact, I had any pets. And then she said, if you don't have any pets, you should get a dog because it will help your self-esteem. And so I'm looking forward to maybe getting a dog to improve my self-esteem. But I can tell you, being here tonight is really pretty good for my self-esteem. To be with people like yourselves that are given so much and are still continuing to give on behalf of our community is really a wonderful thing for us. Let me just be mercifully brief here. My message mainly here tonight is one of thanks, one of gratitude in speaking on behalf of the people of Utah for the service you render and those that you represent. We live in a wonderful state mainly because we have good people. I've been asked many times why Utah is so successful, and I was invited, in fact, back to Washington, D.C. By the Pew Center, kind of a nonpartisan think tank that asked about the success of Utah, because it is somewhat of a puzzlement to see us leading in so many ways as a state. And I was happy to go back and talk about our great tax policies and great leadership that we have in local government and legislature and even the executive branch and things of that nature that most people would be talking about when it comes to politics. But then they brought up the fact, well, aren't you very good at volunteerism? Well, we're number one in the nation when it comes to volunteerism. Aren't you number one in charitable giving? Yes, we're number one in charitable giving in all of the nation. You are very healthy. You're very optimistic. Number one for optimism. We're very positive about the future in the state of Utah. Very happy people, number one for happiness in the state of Utah over the nation. When we got done with all these things that we talked about over an hour and a half, the conclusion of the Pew Center was, well, you're so successful as a state because you've got better people in your state than the rest of the country, which I thought was a good observation and one that I'm not going to quibble with. But again, it goes to the character of we as a people and of what you do and what you represent, the principles and values. So we thank you for your contributions to make Utah so good. Certainly want to make mention of the Honorary Colonels Corps for providing a link with our military to the civilians, our community, to make sure that we work together in concert, in harmony, to do things that we need to do and ought to be doing. I think of the Honorary Colonels, and I think of some of the different things that you're sponsoring, the Freedom Academy, Veterans Day Concert, the Freedom Academy, which is helping many of our people, our young people, to be prepared to become leaders of tomorrow and being trained today to take on that responsibility. That's a significantly important accomplishment of what you're doing to help provide leadership. The the Veterans Day Concert, which I really have enjoyed, one of the great patriotic events that we have with great music, our 23rd Army Band, that I call them my guys. I'm an old trumpet player, and so I love to hear them play and the patriotic songs. And they had, the last couple of years, they let me even lead them in a song, so I've enjoyed that. Again, our contributions of the Honorary Colonels exemplify the fact that we talk about making sure that we honor those who have served in the military, and by their actions we say thank you, and that we will, in fact, never forget. So I appreciate the work of the Honorary Colonels. Thank you so much. Also, I'm honored to be here. I know we're going to present, as we've heard from General Burton, the 2017 Bronze Minuteman Awards to some very deserving people who are also representative of many others in our community. Well-deserved because of their contributions in so many different areas, diverse backgrounds that they have, and they've touched the lives of many people, improving their lives. They've served in city, state, nation, business, governmental, education, athletic, religious, and artistic pursuits. So a wide variety of areas where the contributions are being made to help uplift the people of Utah, hence our slogan as a state, Life Elevated. We are elevating people's lives and helping them aspire to greater and better things. So I thank our award recipients here tonight and all of you for the contribution you make, but particularly to our recipients tonight on making the world a better place, making things better, and making us such a great state that really is a good example of the rest of the country today in a time when our country needs a good example. It's nice to be one that's doing good things. So thank you, and on behalf of the people of Utah, we say thanks and congratulations to one and all. Jeanette and I are honored to be with you tonight. Thank you.
The Bronze Minuteman is awarded to Mr. Steve Henline for healing his own emotional wounds from Vietnam by giving back to disabled veterans and children with disabilities by providing access to the healing power of the outdoors. Steve was born in Provo, enjoyed his youth in Spanish Fork, and has since traveled the nation and world with his employment. His past occupations include video producer, outdoor writer, gold miner, guide, outfitter, and even a car salesman. But above all, his experience as a charter boat captain, having sailed in Mexico, Alaska, and Hawaii, was closest to his heart. Steve served in the Air Force from 1962 to 1966, during which he was deployed to Vietnam. Military service was the natural choice for him, as his grandfather, father, stepfather, uncles, brothers-in-law, and many friends served in the military. However, he was deeply affected by the way veterans of the Vietnam era were treated upon their return. Steve didn't return from Vietnam with the fanfare that soldiers and airmen enjoy today, with parades, applause, and thanks. Instead, he returned to an unappreciative America. He vowed then to help and somehow, sometime, give back to these veterans deserving of the country's respect and admiration. After Steve's retirement as a charter boat captain, his dream to pay it forward was realized. He would capitalize on his knowledge as a charter boat captain and provide access for disabled to the great outdoors. One problem: exhaustive searching revealed that there were no boats that provided easy access to those in wheelchairs. With pontoons found in Arizona, help of friends, and financial support from local businesses, Freedom's dream was built from scratch and set upon the water after 13 months of construction. Steve also created a nonprofit, Hand in Hand Outdoors, in 2013 with the mission to provide outdoor opportunity for disabled veterans and others with disabilities, all free of charge. As years progressed, Steve built 2 more boats to serve the growing demand, and with progressive health issues, he stepped down from Hand in Hand Outdoors. At the time of his retirement from the organization, more than 3,000 disabled individuals had been aboard his boats, and Hand in Hand Outdoors continues to serve disabled veterans and children with disabilities to this day. We now welcome Mr. Steve Henline to the forefront, who is being escorted by Colonel Kurt Davis from the Utah Air National Guard. Haunted by the stories heard from the combat veterans he had aboard, Steve set onto another journey, creating Warrior Tales to gather, share, and archive oral histories on video in the Library of Congress. Warrior Tales is creating 12 documentaries based on these men and women's own words for national distribution so that these tales be preserved and never forgotten. The Utah National Guard is pleased to award the Bronze Minuteman to Mr. Steve Henline for paying it forward to disabled veterans and children with disabilities by providing access to the healing power of the great outdoors and ensuring the tales of our war heroes are told.
I believe that all the freedoms we have, that we're blessed with as Americans, was paid for with the blood and the very lives of the brave and valiant young men and women we call veterans. I also believe we have a moral responsibility to honor and revere those same men and women who have given us this wonderful gift of freedom.